Good evening. One more map to go between Envy and Mousesports. Matt is...
What's so funny, Alex?
I don't know, you're just making me laugh.
I've done nothing. I've done nothing. I'm wearing the same shirt as yesterday.
Are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you not a particularly smelly man?
Not really.
No?
Nice.
Good. I
Nice.
appreciate the check. That was actually quite risky. I mean, you took a gamble there.
He's a clean looking
He's a
gentleman.
plumber.
Yeah, I'm used to the smell of feces.
Yeah.
So for his standards, I smell all right.
Yeah.
I could still
okay,
smell
so
bad.
from an Australian plumber, you sound okay. You smell okay. For the Counter-Strike that we have to look forward to, fortunately, it doesn't seem to have any fecal matter involved just yet. We have... it wasn't great, admittedly, from Envy. Of course, Mousesports picked it up convincingly and have been doing spectacularly over the last 2 match days. But now the final battleground for them will be Mirage. Now, I know we talked about, you suggested that Dust 2 was one of the best for Mouse. Do you know, any ideas where we kind of slot Mirage into their map pool, Matt? I'm looking at you. What have you seen from Mouse Mirage? Are those two kind of synonymous with victory?
I know Oscar's really good on the map. He always was. And Nico's nuts on the T side with an AK. He's one of the only players that can consistently open middle against AWPs with an AK-47. He knows the crosshair placement for every single strafe, whether it's toward the window, whether he gets toward the cubby and peeks short. He knows exactly whatever crosshair placed, and he's very hard. When he's on, I remember there's a game that like PGL last season, he had like 18 kills in like the first 7 rounds.
From mid-control.
Just mid-control with an AK. Like, it's insane. And Oscar on the AWP brings a lot of strength to them. I don't know what to expect from them from strategy because they've been changing things up a lot since they brought in Oscar. So in that sense, I don't really know. But from EnVyUs' standpoint, if they are playing with the stand-in again, let's hope they aren't. Smoke execution on Mirage is huge, and you're already missing one man.
And of course, we have to kind of acknowledge that you have to take these victories, or excuse me, these losses with a pinch of salt for Envy because they've been having a bit of a nightmare, not being unable to field their full 5. So that's of course condolences to them. We'll see what they can do with the 4 that they are operating with. Of course, NK, their new coach, is standing in, which is never going to be as ideal as the full 5. Something I do want to talk about though that we've kind of seen cropping up time and time again over the last couple of I'd probably say months is this pistol round, often T-side deagle. We've seen it cropping up every single Dust 2 that we've just watched. Even on Mirage, it does crop up occasionally as well. And one of the innovators of it is in the server, Mr. Nico.
He loves it. He loves the deagle. There was a highlight clip before with him.
Explain this one to me. Justify the T-side deagle by.
They kind of use it as an AWP on the pistol round, I guess. Yeah. So a lot of the long-range duels as terrorists, you can be pretty certain you're not going to win a long-range battle with a Glock. You're going to have still a rough time with the P250, so let's grab a deagle. And the way that these guys are using it lately, it's taking the USP duel. They're happy to sit back and take a really long line versus the deagle, and now it's just whoever shoots first because you're doing you're both getting your headshots, and it's a good way to open up sights. It's a new take on the pistol round. I like it. And I mean, like, there hasn't been a significant change to the deagle. This is just something that's come about through the meta, right? Like, this is just someone. Is it Nico? Does anyone have any kind of input on that? I
think Nico kind of maybe gave confidence to other people because of his success rate with it. But I mean, he is an exceptional player and special in that regard. But at the same time, the players you're seeing do it are the players that you would also like Scream. Yeah, accuracy.
Makes sense, right?
Like, it's people that you're seeing that think they can keep up or replicate that style. And I kind of agree with what you're saying. I mean, you've got USBs on one side. If you got a deagle on the other, it's kind of the only thing that plays range. The Glocks, it's kind of funny when you think about it because, like, the beta stages, the Glock was, like, so OP.
It was like a laser.
Yeah, but now it's terrible. And it's, like, unless you're up close, it's god-awful. And, like, oftentimes the reason you're winning duels is because they just ran out of ammo before you did or you had a one-shot headshot up close. So I think it gives them a bit more range. And like you're saying, opening up bomb sites, Mirage, you come up from A, a lot of ground to cover there. A lot of space.
Now, I don't know how much time we do have, so I don't want to get into a really lengthy discussion. But, so I talked to Henry, and he always regards pistol rounds as being an air of randomness. And I heard you having a little bit of not a heated debate, but there was a definite debate between the two of you in that regard. So Chad, my question to you is are there elements of randomness in pistol rounds, or is it the ideal way to start off a CS game? Pistol rounds is like the ultimate gamble, I think, because on the CT side and the T side, there's such a range of strategies that you can do. Sure. You can do really aggressive CT pistol plays, you can do really passive T pistol plays. And I think it's a skill set because you see a player like Dennis, right, from Fnatic. He's one of the best pistol players in the world. He's hugely instrumental to that team. If you're winning your team pistol rounds on both halves because you're getting 3 kills, it's not a coin toss. You're a great pistol player, and you're helping your team get a really instrumental round. I don't look at it as a coin toss. Okay, I mean, well explained and justified. Of course, we did get to see a bit of Dennis previously here at the Pro League, but not just yet. We get a different Dennis in the field of Mousesports going up against Envy.
Little D. He only uses one end.
Little D.
It's Little D.
It's Little D. You know all about that. Let's jump into it, though. It's going to be Envy and Mouse. Let's go into
You're not wrong.
our final game of the night.
Not wrong.
It was too easy, yeah. I'm sorry.
So sometimes the low-hanging fruit is the sweetest, though. Let's be honest. Thanks for that one, Alex.
I think anyone would refer to Matt as being the sweetest. And apparently, gravity doesn't affect it as much as we thought.
There we go. Well, all these things and more that I didn't want to know coming up on the ESL Pro League. But it is going to be Mirage between these two teams now, and perhaps not exactly the light at the end of the tunnel for the Frenchmen, as Mousesports have been looking pretty darn good at this map. I mean, let's throw back to E-League Season 1. It was 16-2 between Mousesports and Astralis. That just shows what kind of quality that team pre-Oscar was showing on that map at their best. They're looking pretty good tonight, Lauren. So I would say we'll see a good showing from the ex-German, now European squad.
Yeah, now, let's be very honest. I know a lot of people say when you have a stand-in on the T side, you won't have your full excuse. But he is the coach. He's a previous player. He should be able to still do the smokes and maybe not fulfill the role that Devil can bring. But, you know, the set plays should still have some sort of impact to it. But it will be lacking. And I think EnVy will know that coming into this one. But, you know, and I've got to disagree on the desk. They're saying, you know, take it all with a pinch of salt. Yeah, sure, take it with a pinch of salt in a way. But at the end of the day, these all still count as a loss. This is still really bad stuff for EnVyUs because they can't really afford to not be getting these victories.
So they need to take it with a pinch of salt, a slice of lemon, and a shot of tequila if it doesn't go that well for them here. That's the takeaway. They still need to make things happen regardless. It's not really an excuse. It's perhaps a justification for weaker performances. But EnVyUs can't afford any of them at this stage of the season. Losing this will send them to 5 losses. But now to the pistol round, Nico just shows the heck up. Straight through mid, gets himself 3. Only the man himself.
Gorgeous work from Nico. This guy is just so talented at that sort of play, and to be able to land them back-to-back. MBK is not going to get much play with the Deagle either, coming through Palace. That's going to be Dennis finding him quite comfortably, leaving Happy. Guess what? Last time, he did get found in the end by Spiddy, so that one's done and dusted, dealt with, and pretty much moved on. But Nico, what a performance. You know, this man has such individual power, and you know, an individual won't necessarily win you the whole game, but it certainly gives you a good step forward. He's going to instantly go up towards the M4, gets full armor as well. You know, everything he needs to really operate to the highest degree within this round.
Just ice cold, really. Just crouched in mid-window, casually getting 3 kills. It's like someone just upended an esky on his head. He wouldn't even want to move. So the ice bucket challenge in CS. Very cool, calm and collected from Nico now. And you see just brief check towards mid. He doesn't actually spot EnVyUs pushing 3 players out there, or probably maybe be tipped off to it now as some of that utility is being expended here. Oh, and NKJ actually gets the win there up against Nico, also coming in with a Tech 9. Interesting. Dennis comes in, makes sure that that M4 still goes to good use. First pickup for EnVyUs. Yeah,
a little bit too much freedom given in mid. Not having anyone window or short to challenge anyone going to connect is a little bit too much there. I think Nico's probably a little frustrated that was even a possibility. If you're playing A and you're kind of trying to focus ramp and Palace, you're actively holding them, your always biggest weak point is going to be connector. It's such a horrible task to deal with. So for him to lose out on that gun already was quite a troublesome affair. But Dennis has picked it up and now falls back quite passively towards CT, depending on this play going through connector to really wrap up this round for them. But gotta be, ooh, that looked like lag there to me.
Like lag, yeah.
This isn't good. All right, like Oscar's not going well. Okay, we'll come back to that in a sec, because I guess a small bit of silver lining is this round looks fairly safe unless Apex does something a bit dirty with the Deagle, but it's not going to happen. But yeah, that isn't good here. Oscar looks like he's lagged out, unless he just realised to moonwalk on the spot. So I can imagine there is a pause coming through. I don't know if he's just dropped out. His ping wasn't particularly high, so I guess he's just dropped from the server.
Straight up DC, it could be.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens there as well. Mousesports may need to even replenish him with a substitute, but okay. So I mean, not really much to say, Lauren. We kind of got caught a little bit early on. We can take a big old recap of what we have already seen there. Obviously, Nico started things off well on that pistol round. Yep.
And then I'd say the mid take came through. Now we saw the boost coming in towards short there, if I wasn't mistaken. I wasn't sure who it was with. It might have been Oscar, for example, I think, and maybe Spiddy. I'm not 100% sure. You can, don't quote me on that one, but. Yeah, so for me, I think that as you can give freedom, you give up enough to the T side in mid, but you have to keep X amount into control. If you're trying to focus towards ramp and Palace, for me, you've got to at least keep someone watching the connector push, so there's a call. It doesn't necessarily have to be a kill. I think that's a little bit of a discussion that can be had, that you don't always necessarily have to be in a position to kill someone, but you have to be able to filter the information to others who can do so. So you don't necessarily have to actively hold connector as such, but you've got to be able to watch maybe from short, have an angle on it. So if you start seeing a smokes coming through, say it boosted him up on towards the short boxes. So yeah, you got to keep tabs on that sort of thing, because as said, you don't want to lose out on players, especially one that had the M4. That could have spiraled a lot worse. It wasn't particularly easily recoverable. You'd have had to commit towards A to actually pick it up through connector there and back off, which is very unlikely to get away with. but you don't lose out on those sort of things. You can't give Envy that sort of play. But so far from Envy, really, we've just seen kind of this mid-take come through. Putting players to mid, of course, that first round, as you highlighted, Nico was just waiting very, very patiently with that surgical precision, just taking off those 3 heads. But beyond that, they did it again in the second round. They got that kill on towards Nico. And they keep having like MBK trying to split through Palace. So basically trying to split towards A a little bit, try and just make players uncomfortable. If you get the timing right, it can be really, really good. I think there's a little bit of an unappreciated skill to players who play Palace. I think it's a role that I can never fulfill myself because I find it's such a feel-based sort of
you on
position.
The T side or the CT side?
Almost both. It depends how you're playing, right? It's the player on A. It's calling when you're uncomfortable and when you can kind of understand it. But for me, it's like, especially on the T side, you get the big highlight. Players like Modi, actually.
Yeah, I was going to bring
really
him up just then.
highlight to me how good you can be at exploiting that feeling of knowing the CTs are under pressure. If you play out at the right time, catch a couple off, you have the perfect opportunity. But you don't, Rush, don't highlight your observing to me. All right, calm down, trash bag. I kid, I'm sorry, Rush. Nice surfing, by the way. I like that we cut it off just before we got to the hard part when you have to go up and above. Nice, good timing on that. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a unappreciated skill because it comes down to feeling. It's not much more an information that you've been passed to by your teammates. So I want to see how MBK does on that because I think he's one of those players who certainly has the mental capability of doing so.
Right, so the story is here. Something's happened. Something not so good. There is some dastardly deeds afoot, ladies and gentlemen. As a result, we are going to throw it to a quick break here. They need to restore the server. Yeah, not ideal. Anyway, we'll be back after a break, guys. Hopefully not too long. For all our sakes, we'll see you soon.
Hey guys, we're back. No, we are back. We are still just waiting on the server issues to be resolved. And because Twitch chat demanded it, we always listen, and we made our observer surf again.
And for some reason, our mic's alive, which is never a good idea, when, especially during breaks, but here we are.
Well, I just wanted to talk to you guys, and I'm pretty sure this is classics, and we get to kind of discuss Rush, and discuss him as a person, as a surfer.
Oh, wow.
And I want to talk to you guys in Twitch chat while we do this, because, you know, we're waiting on the game. I'm not sure what ETA we're at, and you're pretty well muted by now, and that's what I'm banking on. Now, this was a stage that I actually thought he was going to fail, so I will give him €2 if he makes this.
€2, okay.
€2.
He's got to go over the top there, doesn't he?
Yeah, you got to go like above and then like
branches off,
around. €2, Rush. Don't crumble. He's gonna crumble. It's such a crumble.
He's nailed it.
Oh, wait, it's not over yet.
What?
Swim.
What is this?
Have you never done this?
I've tried to surf. I honestly am terrible at it, but no foon. I'll be honest with you.
There you go. All right, is that how you tried to write 2? We need to get Rush and Mike is what's going to happen. At some point, you guys at home will get to actually meet Rush. Exactly. He can only talk through the USPS.
Blink twice if the producer is putting you in a headlock. Or shoot twice, perhaps.
Yeah. We will get him mic'd up. You guys will eventually get to meet Rush. If you don't know this guy, he used to stream, and then we took him away from the streaming world.
Pretty decent stream following, I think he had.
Yeah.
Reasonably.
Yeah. He was like Psy Syndicate's sidekick.
Oh,
there it is. There's the tilt. He can recover on this one.
So you mean accomplice, right?
Yes, okay. That's it. That's what I meant. But Rush, is this classics, by the way? Yeah. So you guys asking in chat, this is classics. It's got like 1 million stages to it, and it only gets relatively hard at the end.
Brandish this lovely stained knife.
It's really gross, to be fair.
That is just putrid.
It's really not pleasant. I recently bought a new knife. I did a...
oh, Lauren.
This is turning into just like random talk time with us, but no, because it was my treat. I was like, do you know what?
You treated yourself to a knife.
Yeah, I was like, I can either go out and have a night out or do something like that, or I'd be a massive nerd and just get a knife. So you guys in chat, are you enjoying the surfing? Please press 1 if it is a yes, press 2 if it is a no. Yeah, we will introduce Rush. We'll get him. I think we just get him on air at some point.
If we give him a mic, you're going to hear him sobbing when we break him. It's not really fair. Or he tries to get on his big boy banter pants as well, which is always interesting.
He's been working on the banter recently.
Yeah, he's been trying. He's too good-natured for it though as well. It's so
deep
funny.
down he's a nice guy.
You got a bloke in this position as well. Observing, if you don't know, it can be quite a high-stress job, and Rush is just too nice for it here. So we'll see how long it takes for us to break him, guys. You can always assist in that regard. You do it quite well, so.
Yeah. But if you are just tuning in and unmuting and wondering what's going on, we are still waiting on the server issues to be fixed up between Mouse and EnVyUs. As soon as it's back, we can actually carry on properly. But for now, I was kind of bored just typing to chat, so I thought me and Mitch could have a chat with you guys and just chill out. Let's be honest, the VOD's going to be deleted of this because ESL caster show personality is, I think, against terms of service.
It is, so, we'll be fired. In fact, we may already be fired now. I can actually hear knocking on the door. You know how they sort of drag us out of the studios if they don't like what we say?
Yeah. It's going to happen. Well, to be fair, Matt's already taken the limelight. Front page of the CSGO subreddit has just got him going, and Sadicus has been fired. Fair enough. Oh,
no, that was, yes. Well, we know Sado doesn't like to come back from a break unrustled in some way.
No, his gem jams are everywhere.
Last week he purposely buttoned his shirt up incorrectly. When we were coming back from a break. Yes.
I didn't see that.
He wanted to do it. I'm like, I'm just going to mess my buttons up to see if anyone notices. It's like that one guy, right? That one really weird guy you work with. He's like, I parted my hair to the other side today just to see if anyone noticed. That guy.
Matt's unique. He's a unique kind of guy. Rush to MC next major, says someone in chat. So they want to literally get Rush on stage. I would love to see Rush on stage at a major. Just mic'd up. Just surfing, you know what I mean? Just like full spotlight, middle of the stage. Just like, sits down real slow.
We can make this happen.
Away.
We can possibly make this happen. Yeah, he's still attack pause, guys. So my understanding is initially they had to sort of restore the server, which is kind of a weird process in general, as there's config manipulation involved there. And so they're dealing with that. This is online CS for you in a nutshell, guys. I mean, we've got so much online CS lately as well. If you have seen recent announcements,
even today, there's so much going on.
36 online games of CS today. So the fact that you guys are here watching is already fantastic. We appreciate it. But yes, unfortunately, that comes with the trials and tribulations of using online servers.
Yeah. And actually, someone just asked what knife did I buy? It was the M9 bayonet. I think think it was one of the Dopplers, kind of like the purple.
Is that the pink
and
purple Doppler?
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
nice.
that.
I like that.
I like, honestly, I've sat there and I've unboxed one knife and I've spent so much money on this game. Like I think I spent like $5 grand on unboxing at some point. So don't even ask. I've got a problem. I only got one knife out of it. It was a nice knife. I got a karambit fade out of it, so I was like, all right, this is cool. But then I was like, I really want the M9 bayonet. That was like my dream knife.
Really?
And
I unboxed that and made my 7th box ever. Just like, it was a crappy Boreal Forest one.
That really upsets me that that's even happened. See, these are the stages I start to be not able to do.
So
also,
now,
guys, if you have any questions in chat, feel free to put them through. Like, it's going pretty quickly, but I'll try and read them.
A night out, no, so to answer this correctly, a night out for Lauren costs as much as an M9 bayonet Doppler.
That's simply untrue.
Let's be honest here.
It's the cabs. Cabs always cost so much.
It's the cabs.
It is. All right, I've got a problem now. But yeah, no, it was just like I want to get my ideal skin. Do you know what I mean? It was just like that was my thing. I wanted to just get it really nice. Got a new AK. It was only a red laminate stat track, but I didn't really have any stat tracks. I was like, I'm gonna get that as well. It's quite cheap actually.
Actually, the blue laminate was the first AK I ever actually spent money on.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Nice.
Banged a big old Virtus Pro sticker on there and happily walked into matchmaking. That was
I always have to theme my guns. You know, like or like the stickers to the gun color. It has to be like the right color. So obviously, I've got like a Dennis sticker on my USPS. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to go for that thing. I'm just going to try and see if there's any updates. There's still no updates. So, guys, we are letting you know as soon as we know what's going on. So we're just chilling right now, having a good time. Any questions, either tweet me at They Call Me Pansy or at UberShout so you can just read them there if you actually have a real question. If not, just put it in chat and I'll see if I can pick it up. But can you surf?
Can I surf? Not really, to be honest. I can hardly. My movement in CS is not great. It was actually also a problem when I played other FPS titles as well. I'm just that kid. You know that kid that had like no mouse space at all and still played with really low sense.
Oh,
so
God,
I've got a real jerky nature to my play. Luckily, I managed to get away with it sometimes. But surfing, no. It's also not an intuitive thing as well. If you look at surfing, think about how the game plays and
it's not super easy.
I used to do a lot of bounce servers back in Call of Duty.
Oh, like the bunny. Oh yeah. Just those ones.
I'll get wrecked.
Oh, Rush. No. To be fair, I can't do the last. I think it's about the last 5 of this map. I just can't do. I'm not a particularly good surfer. To be fair, Rush actually taught me how to surf a little bit, a fair bit actually. He did teach me how to surf. I'll give him that. So
the question here is, here's a good one, Lauren. Do we support any football teams?
Not really. I know I'm English and I should, but I just don't anymore.
Are you kidding me? Every time West Ham win a game, you chirp right on up.
It's just because I like to troll people. What rank am I? I am Global Elite.
And
I haven't played. You're like Supreme, right?
No. At highest, I was LE.
Yeah.
Was it LE, and then
we mostly play like ESEA these days. If I'm completely honest, we don't really have. Nicely done.
I support Liverpool for those that are wondering. Yeah. So bring the hate.
What's my fave M4 skin? Silenced or unsilenced? So at the moment I have the Icarus Fell, which I really like. I love the design on it. And I have my Howl that I bought at the time, and now it's not worth anything in comparison to what it was, and it really upsets me.
Let's see, in-game sensitivities. That's an interesting one. I use Windows Notch 4, 800 DPI.
Why would you use Notch 4?
Because I just did back from Call of Duty. That's just the way it's been.
Idiot.
I was always Notch 4.
Why not 6? 6 is literally...
I don't know.
That's really tilted
Notch 4, 800 DPI, and 0.9 cents in-game, so quite low.
Yeah, I'm just 360 over my mouse like that, basically. I think Forest has the closest sense to mine when I looked up the spreadsheet. I think it's around that. Mine's actually still pretty high. Like I could probably do it lowering it, but I'm lazy. Am I hyped for the Modern Warfare remastered? No. Any purist will sit there and just get a little bit of vomit in your mouth.
We've long since resigned ourselves to CS, and we're happy with it. I think. I don't really think we're looking for any big FPS titles. Yeah. It's
like at the moment, like, there's nothing else that really rivals CS for me, like competitive-wise, FPS. Like Diabotical is good. Have you seen that?
It does,
by,
actually.
James Harding.
Yeah.
Oh, you were part of the Kickstarter,
I was. For the Diabotical Kickstarter, you could, for some reason, pay an inordinate amount of money to play games with yours truly. Don't know why anyone would really opt to do that, but
Alex, do you want to come and join us
at least it would be there for the banter, I guess.
Yeah, we're just talking to chat. Is there an extra headset here?
No, it's been removed.
Oh, they removed it. Oh no, I'm sorry, Alex. I lied to you.
What's your favourite aim map, Lauren? Someone's asked about ways that we improve our aim. How do you use it?
Play lots.
Play lots.
What's that, mate? What's that, Alex? Do you want to go back to your desk? Why don't you go do some really good content with Matt? How about that? Yeah, love you, Pop.
I think I actually use the Elliptical bots map personally.
Yeah, I do the aim bots map.
Whatever it's called, where you can actually set like there's the target and you can sort of set 3 levels back and you can change the speed and.
That was one that Freiburg used to do. Yeah. The orange, the default ones.
It's been remade a couple of times now because it used to spawn in the floor, but I found it was actually really quite helpful.
All right, guys, just so you know, the game server's on the way up apparently, and we'll be back soonish. So just keeping you guys updated. As soon as we know info, we'll let you guys know. But I thought rather than you just sitting there staring at a break screen, at least we can have a little chat with you guys and we can just take it for what it is at the moment, which is just a couple of technical issues. And the analysis desk can pick back up if they need to, if we really run out of ideas. But so far, I think we're having a good time, I think we're having a good time.
This is fine. Someone asked, do you hope that the CSGO hitbox will be better? If you did check the latest update as well, there have been some changes made. We saw that video that went up on Reddit about just the hitbox of someone when they were looking to the side. I think you couldn't headshot them or something similar. So that was quite quickly actually dealt with. So to be fair, like, a lot of people say that Valve are a little bit sluggish on maybe responding to sort of feedback or anything like that. But that was sort of nipped in the bud pretty quickly. So
see, I would say that first bullet accuracy is still something that I just want fixed, if I'm honest.
Sure.
Because as much as I know that sometimes I'll blame something on that, and I know it's completely not related, but I'd like to know that maybe that 1 out of 10 times that it might actually affect me, I can just be like, okay, it was just my aim being bad. Kind of sucks. That's even a thing. Yeah.
Big old Swansea fans in the chat. Shout out to you guys. I enjoy it. What else we got? Yeah, everyone's talking about Rush. What's he playing?
Oh no, he's been found. Oh no. This is kind of unnerving. Rush, you might need to run away really. The fear's about to kick in. But you can always come back to us if there's any need. We can just sit here and chat.
Can we answer what our favorite CS team is? Is that really something we do?
It depends, right? I don't think I have a favorite team. I have players that I probably get on better personally with than other players.
Sure.
So, for example, I guess one of the first pro players who was incredibly kind and went through a lot of the more strategic side of stuff with me. Like when I first got into CS, like back in the raid call EMS days. Like this is going back to the very early days of CS.
That's back when you wore glasses, wasn't it?
That was a weird choice that I made, and we're not going to talk about that, but no, it was Freiberg was always actually very nice and went through things. So was Get Right, actually. Both of those are incredibly lovely when they actually took the time, after a loss, even though they were super tilted out, they would have a chat outside after they calmed down, and they'd be like, okay, well, yeah, this is why we lost. These are some of the reasons that happened, and they're actually really cool about that stuff. That was actually get a lot of respect from me for that.
Get to speak to them in Katowice as well. They were quite easygoing. I ate Froyo with Pasha and Taz in Poland with Carmack once, and they were nice to me. And I wasn't even cast. Nice. They didn't even know they still don't know who I am, but it was quite pleasant. Pasha was telling me about how he wanted to get into mixed martial arts. I don't know how that's really gone. I don't know if that's really a thing that he's doing, but it was a bit of a thing for him at the time. He was regaling me with his stories, so that was fun. I had Froyo with the boys.
MBK's always been very nice as well. Dupree, I know it sounds really weird, but it's like the players that even after a really bad loss or when they're very busy, they'll still take time. Before events, I always try and before a major or something or a big event, I'll just ask them, how's practice going? What you guys been focusing on? Have you been boot camping? Blah blah. Just general chit chat, and they always take the time to kind of talk it through, and it's really kind of appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, me and MBK get on fairly well. I brought him some contact lens solution when he didn't have any. He was here at the ESL Studios.
So you're essentially a runner and a Froyo eater with pro players.
A runner and a Froyo eater. You're two things I never thought I'd be. But sometimes when you're young, you just can't imagine where you're going to end up.
So
also,
the Kiss Cam is coming in strong.
Pasha owes Matt €5.
Producer Matt, just so you know.
Yeah, producer.
Kiss Cam, really, guys? It's not Anderson Semler, it's not True Love. If it was even Henry and Matt, it could work. But this...
I feel like I'd be kissing my sibling. I'm not really sure about that.
Certain parts of Australia. Who knows?
Tasmania.
Yeah, you reckon?
Actually, I probably shouldn't go too far into this topic. Let's just say when you're stuck on a small island and... all right, anyway, point is, we can give that one a miss, guys. That's something that's better left unseen or unknown.
Yeah, I think it'd be sickening. I'm kidding. We are almost getting ready, so we've just had the word that he's going to get live soon, so you can get off our ugly mugs and get into the game. So thank you for chilling out with us and actually sticking around, which was kind of cool. Yeah,
obviously it's a big chat. There's a lot of guys in here as well. Just generally quite nice to have some time to interact with you. I know sometimes people watch the Pro League and think, they can't see what we're saying, they're not listening, or we're just talking heads. But we are people. We like to know what you guys are about and what you are doing.
We are people, I promise.
Not just we're not just wheeled out of the basement just to sit here and talk.
Oh, they've let you out of the basement now.
Well, yeah.
Only for shows.
Yeah, to be fair, I've still got the shackle on my leg, but that's another story.
All right. But we are in the server, as you can see. So hopefully no more issues do occur, but don't want to get too into that one. But we'll see. We'll see. It's just after the amount of times that it will get to this, and we're like, all right, it's going live, guys. Don't you worry. And it doesn't go live. So until it really kicks up, I'm just going to be kind of chill about this. Oh my gosh, people actually asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, they did. Some interesting ones there. But also a correction on me. I was talking about the hitbox change. It's not live yet. It's in the beta client.
Yeah,
but I mean, let's be honest, boys.
You can still test it out as well.
And that might not even be all sorting all the problems. But it looks like the match is finally restarting. Guys, if you can remember where we sort of began from, Mousesports won the pistol and won the round following that one. So the server's been reset, and I think it's only after they win the next round that we actually get the scores reset at the top.
The score should update at that point, at least if it sticks true to what we saw last time we had this. So hopefully, you know, we get to see that after a while. But let's recap in case, you know, you've forgotten all. I don't blame you if you have. It was Mousesports basically after a really nice start. Envy was doing a couple of mid-takes on the pistol, didn't win out on it. Nico did Nico things on the first, picking up 3, but we are back underway in this one, and it will be a very clean round from Envy. Just looking for pretty much a plant here, and actually they might have a good shot to that considering only Dennis is in A. However, he does have a UMP, but he does get overwhelmed. Now Nico's going to have to respond, and let's see if they can get anything done.
Oh, hello, Apex comes in with 2 quick ones there. Nice way to whittle down the numbers here on the side of Mousesports. And Oscar there as well, being a little bit more patient. Apex going to go forward and actually get the bomb planted there, able to peek up and see where Oscar is. So the rest of the reinforcements for Mousesports still forthcoming. Nade hits on towards the side. Doesn't really affect Apex, though, now as Chris J manages to gun him down. So a bomb plant for EnVyUs and already 2 kills is definitely nothing to sniff at. They'll be happy with that one. Happy now in lower dark, gets taken down. Not terrible from EnVyUs. And let's be honest here, a pause of that length is a hard reset. If there was any momentum for Mousesports, you kind of expect them to come back in with that. But it was early in the game, and not to worry.
Yeah, so 3 rounds back-to-back here. Envy, in case you, again, missed out on a couple of things from the first map, are currently playing without Devil, had a couple of issues there. NKJ, the analysis coach role player, is going to be stepping in for this. Not ideal. He had a couple of moments, mostly with a 5-7 of all things, in the previous map of Dust 2. But beyond that, didn't really make much of a play. And this is a very good map for Mousesports recently. As of late, you've got the shining stars of the likes of Nico, of course, and Oscar. Flash comes in for Dennis, tries to play him in towards ramp. Going to be met by sheer force from MBK, and they might build off the back of this. They're already out Tetris. They can do those smokes a little later and get ready to just make that play towards A.
There's no one over towards CT or towards the little corner on the side here, so the entirety of Mousesports have to play in from jungle and connector. But Oscar slows momentum down a little bit more. The shot comes in, and it rings true. MBK is taken down. Now flash towards Oscar again. He just obviously can't see a lot here with all the smoke in his way. A couple of smokes stacked up completely cancels out that very small avenue of approach. And because Mousesports had no one towards CT in that round, Speedy has to take a very, very far back position. He sees the flash come in, wanted to trade out there or at least peek out after Chris J sort of attracted NKJ's attention. But this will be trickier for Mousesports than they first realized. The flash comes in though, nicely laid, but that bomb's still ticking away.
Apex in a bit of a tricky position here. There's still nades on the Mousesports side, and that can flush him out. And now it's brought back down to a 3v2. So Kenny gonna have to come into the matter pretty soon. That smoke is gonna avert his gaze, make it harder work, but he's still gonna come up with what he needs. Finds one, but can he find the other? He's full diffusing here. Spinny's on it, but he can't hit the shot. That was so close in the end from Kenny S. That could have changed it all, but it wasn't the case. Now Mousesports get double up. They can keep building that bank. They can spread the wealth, and look at it, already 10K on Chris J. That's gorgeous to work with. And Envy, not ideal here now.
Yeah, an absolute nightmare of a start for them. And they had their chances, to be fair. You come off quite a effective sort of pistol round there as well, or just the save. Coming with 2 kills and getting themselves a bomb plant, but can't make anything happen with it. They're going to force this one pretty darn hard. MBK actually goes for an AK here. Just the one flash to work with, though. So that's really all EnVyUs are playing with at this stage. And they need to use MBK incredibly effectively here to get any headway on towards this site.
MBK's been doing pretty well at this as well. I've enjoyed his opening frag. I don't know if he's going to get the same sort of chance. He does! Again, what a brilliant piece of play, allowed to get away with murder. But Dennis might be able to stop it before it starts. No, MBK again. God. The tank just coming through at the moment, just breaking down all the walls here. But Oscar and Chris J, those double ops coming through back again to really create opportunities. Yeah. Oscar, good round from him there in the end. But MBK did make that a little bit deadly.
Yeah, double AWP to play into with no utility is really, really hard to do. Like, really hard. And what we see EnVyUs, you know, they sort of get the shock troops in. Couple of flashes, I think, came over and got them through, and MBK obviously picking out one, but not ideal. Obviously, it wasn't a full classic EnVyUs force like we used to see in the old days. They obviously were a bit more sensible of that one and gave themselves a chance to buy back in. But Happy, he had a slow start on Dust 2, and he's, again, having a bit of a slow one here. MBK so far, definitely, like you said, has been a factor. Very much fearless as he pushes into these sites for entries, but that's the problem. After you get out on towards the site, they are being shredded by these AWPs at long range. So EnVyUs now would like to play with a bit of this utility, give themselves more safe passage on towards these sites and actually have an afterplant situation to speak of.
Yeah, and in this kind of, when they know this CT side has that double op, I prefer them going for site hits, good smoke site hits. It makes it very hard for those double ops to play retake. You can kind of limit what they can achieve early game. I don't like the kind of 2-on-2 we're seeing here. It's easier for them to get picks, possibly. Kenny S, all about timing now, actually looked away, comes back, adjusts better than Chris J could, and wins out in mid, at least for now, giving EnVy a really nice advantage, but they still need to break into one of these sites, and that's not gone well for Happy. Timing not into his favor. Nico was watching it, expecting that kind of reflex move coming out to try and avenge what happened earlier, and now the advantage sits with Mousesports.
And Kenny S with the bomb and an AWP inside mid window now. Spitty's already sort of caught up to this one here, but Kenny S still gets away with the kill, and then BK making things happen over an A. All of a sudden, Dennis is in big trouble. He's in lower dark, and with Kenny S in this position, he can pick him out. Spitty, though, takes down Kenny S. Nicely done from short now. The 2v2 comes out, and BK makes a bit of a mistake, but manages to make up for it with 4 points of health left. The bomb is left in an incredibly compromising location. NBK needs to wait for NKJ to get on site and to use these flashes at least to secure maybe just a smoke in front of the bomb and then whisk it over to B.
NBK and NKJ, what a mouthful. But Dennis is going to try and find one of these two. He knows that he's going to be trying to be pincered in on, and this is a good shout from him. I like this. Take the fight towards one. Luckily for him, he found NBK, who was already very low. Now you unravel. Where was that set play going to come from? Where's the piece of the puzzle?
So
Perfect positioning. It's going to be very tricky for NKJ to be able to pull this off. He's got to check every angle. He doesn't know if he's backed into mid. And there it is. Dennis, cool, calm under pressure. And I really like how he played that out.
And Dennis could have been really easily cut off from that situation if he hadn't made a move. You know, sometimes there's a tendency for some players to just bide their time. But he, you know, didn't really know exactly where EnVyUs were going to be coming from. Probably assumed that NBK would be coming from Connector. But, you know, if Dennis had hung around for much longer, he could have been isolated. He could have been sort of kept away. And Mousesports,
Can we press tab for a second? Just very quickly. Oh, it's not 0-7 yet. Happy is having a really bad
naughty,
game.
Lauren.
No, I find it really happy. You know, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it.
Tell me why, though.
It makes me grin.
Oh, I can't follow up for now. I can't go in there with you, Lauren. I'm sorry. A little bit.
But maybe he can do something with the Deagle. I think this is one of those rounds where you kind of discuss things that are going wrong, where you're lacking a little bit.
Happy rolling back the years. As Henry would put it. Oh, hello. NBK still finds Chris J, but quick trade in. Spitty able to position himself quite comfortably to receive this one. Elsewhere on the map, though, Apex has found Oscar. Thankfully for Mousesports, Spitty is still putting the work in, and the bomb goes loose over on towards short care of Nico. Kenny S gives himself an M4. No more plugging away with just a pistol, but Spitty navigates the situation quite comfortably, receives a lot of attention, and comes out with 4 kills. Yeah,
nicely done. Kept the site in check, and we have what we needed, what I needed, what makes me happy as a human being. 0-7. But we also see Kenny S on the op, which is also a really enjoyable factor. And what a rarity we see Spitty being the top fragger as well. Brilliant work on B then. A little bit buffered out by those eco frags, or Deagle upgrade frags, but you know, he's not a player who often get the limelight in this sort of roster. And there's the smoke towards mid window, just going to come through there, just allow the play if it needs to happen. The bomb being in the hands of Kenny S, he's going to be a little bit cautious on this. And it is, again, this kind of 2-on-2, hoping for aggression, hoping this one pushes NBK. I'm a little worried the timing's off for him. Sadly for NBK, he gets caught out in the worst way. He actually flashed for that. Kenny S, what a shot, comes bounding in and Happy explodes. 2 kills for him. Suddenly gets himself on the scoreboard in quite some fashion. Mouse now left with 2.
Yeah, and that's an important kill though. Spitty finds Happy. Nico goes down though, but still Mousesports could have made something happen with 2 players back towards CT. Now, Spitty needs to be careful. NKJ will be hot on his heels in a few moments, and speaking of hot, the Molotov is going to cut off the route of approach for Spitty. Connector, his only option at this stage, a flash and a kit to his name, but little else. And again, he'll just have to stand and deliver and meet his maker there. It's going to be Apex to shut him down. Beautiful moment by Kenny. And also Happy there as well. Picks 2 kills out in mid on the back of the chaos that occurred. But EnVyUs needs so much more than this coming into the half.
They do, but Mousesports haven't fully stabilized their money. They can still get a really nice buy into this, but it'll be a little bit, you know, here, there, and everywhere. So let's see what they actually get out of this buy. So 2 AWPs, Oscar and Nico. You've got a Deagle on Chris J, a Deagle on Spitty, no armor, and then the M4 on Dennis. A very, very weird buy here. Oscar takes a brave peek, catches out Apex. Now Nico wants to show a little bit here, keep a little bit in check. This is kind of curious here. Envy probably didn't expect this. They're caught off by this purchase, and maybe that's the full intention.
Chris J in a position to maybe do something in this one. He does spot out NBK at Delpan and forced to just back away. Be a flash over the top here, but no, Chris J not going to go for any more. Now NKJ has the information. He knows there's a lower player over towards his site. But not really presenting for NBK at this stage, so it'll be a smoke in. And EnVyUs hoping to facilitate maybe a more comfortable movement in the direction of the B side, but Spinny shuts down NBK. That was an important player there, dare I say it. A pivot for Team EnVyUs there is one of my favourite words, but again, it does seem to be the case. With NKJ falling at B now, options are incredibly limited. Mousesports, I mean, we talk about getting away with murder here. It's daylight robbery as well for Mousesports to really get any advantage in this round, working with what they were. Still 2 AWPs in play. Kenny S, with an aforementioned AWP, has to work on towards his site on his own at this stage. Happy's still a while behind him. Flash comes out. Still no plant yet, though, for Kenny S. He'll just set up in a safe position if he can. Oscar's still determined to be looking up in towards his apartments. It might just pay off as Happy that lingers for a little bit too long within his line of sight. Now Kenny in a 1v3.
Let's see it, Kenny. What do you have here? Show us some of that magic that we know you can bring. A near-on impossible situation with no utility, no way to define these 1v1s, but he's going to find the first. Dennis goes down, bomb is planted, readjusts. Couldn't find the one in kitchen there, so that's Oscar to close it down, get 4th for himself. And the defuse will come out.
And that's EnVy reset there as well. Whatever sort of round loss bonus they were accruing over that time is absolutely just, well, been thrown up against the wall here. They have some residual money to come back in with, so it's not really too bad. They didn't have to buy too deeply into this round. You'll note here that they have, 6K onto NKJ and Kenny S, but again, that has to be spread amongst their team, and after that, it absolutely spent. Mousesports. Not exactly a burgeoning economy of their own here, but enough to be working with for now. The double AWP stays in play crucially here for Oscar and Nico, who have definitely shown us some impressive control of the map.
And there's so many pieces now in Mousesports' pocket that just kind of, strike fear into people. That double AWP combo, massive. Kenny, though, feeling confident here. He's playing a confident game, and I like that from him. I want to see more of this. But the double stack on B can make it costly. He is only a glass cannon, so these nades, that molly, got to be careful, got to be cautious. We'll have to back away from this. I was wondering if he was going to go for the bit of a wall bang there, but not to be the case. Spiddy now just cushions himself right underneath the balcony, but only gets the 1-1 trade out. NBK will find him. Kenny S comes up with what he needs, and now it's Nico. Nico, what can you do here? Absolutely sweet soddle. 2v3 now. We do see at least Mousesports keeping some numbers alive here. Play coming up from short from Dennis. Oscar going to hold this until he gets the opportunity to work with Dennis to try and retake this site.
There's a ton of utility available here for Mousesports. They have 4 flashes between them, but Dennis takes that one cleanly. Now's the time to start thinking about that one. Give yourself the higher percentage situations. Kenny S is completely blind and takes a big hit. This is how Mousesports are going to retake this side. A 2v3, and they are making it happen. Now Happy standing upon the bomb site. There is a kit available for Dennis, so Mousesports have that option. Time is still bleeding down. Happy needs to be challenged, but it's quite simple. Mousesports just challenges 2-1-1, get a quick little defuse and run away with the round.
And Happy will not be smiling after that retake. Incredibly frustrating scenes there for him. They do even recover an AWP now for Mouse. And they could get the double. Dennis? Nice.
We good.
Dennis, that was almost terrible. I liked it, though. Good recovery. 9-1, though. And recovery is the name of the game here for Envy, and it looks almost impossible, if I'm honest.
And we're seeing this actually a little bit more common recently from Spiddy. No one questions whether he should be in this team or not, but again, now seeing a very strong performance from him. Obviously, look, in a game where you're winning quite dominantly, this can happen, but we've seen some really nice moments from him on short as well, shutting down presence for EnVyUs, even across the map on towards A. So a player to keep your eyes on here, as he's been quite instrumental coming out of B. Oscar, though, opens up. Apex just drops lifeless to the ground like a sack of potatoes. And Oscar, a mild tag on him as well. It's going to be enough to keep him away from mid-window and allow EnVyUs to sort of boost him. But Oscar, very aggressive now, forced to go for the pistol. Not really where he wanted to be caught in any case. Kenny now pushing forward. Has himself the AWP. With Nico using his own to great effect. It's going to be NBK dropping in mid now. EnVyUs are going to be sort of surrounded in a few moments if they don't make a move forward. They don't have any utility line to work with here. They just have to try and take fights. And what Mousesports are ready to receive.
Yeah, you're spot on, Mitch. The one factor that can change it would be Kenny S, but in such a spot like this, not exactly allowing much of an AWP play, and already gives away the game. And Chris J will snatch it from him. 10-1. AWP is recovered. Double AWP back into play. Let's see their money. It was on that teetering edge there for Mousesports. It could have tipped to the other way, where they could be on a little bit of a lower purchase, but they can really spread the funds around, spread the jam. And now Envy, they've got a good buy, but they need the last couple of rounds. I'm sorry, you really do need it. And they've just looked so jilted.
At this point as well, you're forced to force in some cases. You're just sort of too far behind. You don't have those rounds. You can just go, okay, boys, let's just buy, P250s and see what happens. You have to go for it now. You're way too far behind. And at this point, that first pistol in the next half is just going to pretty much mean the whole game. And that's not what you want to do. But so far, Envy is making this work. Oscar, they're going to shut down NKJ as he forces on towards the site. And a missed shot there as well is going to mean he has to give up his position for the moment. Spiddy now is with him. May want to split up, though, in this case, as Oscar wants to try and test this A site from Connector, he does see a lot of those grenades flying past him, although none of them are intended for him at this stage. So the way is open for Oscar to create some opportunities, but the bomb is down. There comes that extra smoke, going to obscure a lot of the bomb site. A lot of utility being expended here just to make it harder for Mousesports to get a foothold.
Yeah, and Happy's positioning basically means that they know there is absolutely no one coming around from the back. Kenny, you can't do that, Kenny. You got to land those, and he kind of overstayed his welcome, got taken down very low. Oscar does have an AWP, so this becomes not exactly ideal for him. Look how tagged up they are, 17, 6, 11. One shots are plenty between them all, and a bit of an overkill there for Oscar. A headshot with an AWP, a bit too much, and Happy will chase and deny the AWP. As said, previously highlighted, Mousesports' money wasn't particularly brilliant in that prior round. It could break, and it has. Down quite low here for them, but recovery needs step-by-step sort of plays from EnVy, and they need to keep this up. They need to get that goodbye. As you said, they've got to force all the way through here now, and at least they get something big to work with.
And look, I mean, Mousesports, you could make a case there for sort of saving on that particular round, or just trying to just force pistols and try and make something happen, which is quite viable on this map. But again, Mousesports have already done this once before. They've already taken that sort of force by round away from EnVyUs, so they can do it here, especially when you've got 2 AWPs in play still. So there's no reason not to really play around those here. Nico starts off well. That's what they want. NBK goes down.
Look at that bomb. I don't care about A right now. It's all good and fun, but Happy selling them the absolute fake. Nice. Kenny S, NKJ running it, and now Mousesports go, oh God, wait, the bomb's down at B. You know, it's that moment. Now let's play retake with 2 AWPs, 1 scout, a rifle and a deagle. Not ideal at all, and Happy already in position. Should be able to allow the rest of EnVy to find, you know, complementary positions to his. The smoke into kitchen denies them the instant push through. Kenny, don't mess this up, Kenny. You've got to do the work here. He needs help, and Happy just walks into the eyes of Dennis, maybe overzealous to help out his teammates, and now it puts them in a worse position. 2v4. Kenny comes into it. NKJ's doing what he can, but Kenny can't follow up, and now NKJ in the 1v3.
Yeah, but time ticking down. There's no kit available for Mousesports, but they managed to get on towards NKJ. But do they have the time? It doesn't look that way. They're all trying to back away from the site. So EnVyUs, not only do they get the bomb plant, they win this round. And one could make the case, Lauren. One could make the case that for EnVyUs, maybe the money from bomb plant isn't actually enough in that round, so selling that kind of fake, not sufficient. But the fact that they managed to hold off Mousesports for as long as they did is so important as well. And you're right, they sold on the Kipper, and they managed to bleed a lot of time there with Mousesports having to traverse over towards the B site to challenge. So now, the actual sort of, well, it's a weird buy, let's be honest with you. They managed to back away. I think a couple of Mousesports players died there, so only Nico gets away with the AWP. Could be worse, but still, Mousesports could have had that last round comfortably if they were just a little bit quicker to the punch.
Here we go, Nico. Game-changing play required. Delivers on the first front. Backs out towards Connector. Doesn't want to lose out on players here, but there you go. Happy's found him. Kenny S catches Chris J. And now all that threat that was possibly a board for Mousesports, so there's a couple of weapons spread throughout, kind of gone. You're down to P250 and a USPS. So all the punch that was building up has kind of been removed, and this should be a closeout for EnVy, and they shouldn't lose out on too many more players, especially when NBK is keeping really well, a good mindset towards where these guys could be.
Spiddy's having none of it. Having absolutely none of it there. Happy eventually picks him up there, and it's going to be 10-4. Now, Mousesports buy back in here. Obviously, 11 rounds on that CT side, they'd be very, very pleased with at this stage. No AWP comes in. Maybe ruining the force up a couple rounds back, but still working around 2 AWPs was a promising prospect at the very least. The last round of the half, though, here, so Mousesports. It says round 13 up the top because we had a server reset, guys, so fear not. Again, smokes, still 4 smokes here, so yeah, well, there you go. Enough smoke here for Mousesports to buy some time, although EnVyUs might be looking to go for a full execute here. Oh, but that could get messed up there. Nico finds the pick. I think that's in towards Palace, if I'm not mistaken. Nicely done. And Dennis with forward positioning doesn't pay off, though. Kenny S ready for that one.
Yeah, Kenny S, though, willing for it. Oh, okay. Mum, get the camera. That was nuts. Nico's just gone and got absolutely destroyed by that. Spiddy and Chris J are going to be left reeling. Like, what can you do playing back into that? You're just like, guys, come on. But anyway, 4 players alive for EnVy. Bomb is planted. Flash comes in towards CT. Chris J has a flash and a smoke, and that's it. And they are not given many chances in this one.
No doubt about it. They've been locked out at the side as well. Chris J now has to sort of content himself with checking behind them, because EnVyUs have the amount of players that could allow them to wrap if they wanted to. So Spiddy just going to charge forward. Actually works out. Gets on towards Happy, but again, he has to trade that one. And EnVyUs end the round and a half with 5 rounds there. It was a rough start. I mean, they were, 7 rounds down. They win 1, they get reset after that. So credit to EnVyUs to bring it back. Of course, that round earlier on where Mousesports sort of did force into. This is just What did Alex say? Dumb lit? That was ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Well, anyway.
I need a break after that shot. Yeah, I'm just going to wheel myself away.
We're going to get that one. We're going to have a handler that's going to come and drag us away here as well. Give us our shot to keep us well behaved. But when we return, we're going to be back here with the second half. It was Team EnVyUs going down with only 5 rounds here, but still chances plenty to make things back up. Mousesports again in a dominant position. Let's see if that continues into the second half of Mirage. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here for the second half of EnVyUs versus Mousesports on Mirage. And Nico, well, we had to give him some time to pick up the pieces of himself that were scattered across the entrance to T-Ramp there at the start of that round. And still, though, it is an advantage for Mousesports. 5 rounds for EnVyUs only on the T side. So they're a little bit mollified. They were a little bit smothered, I guess you could say, from Mousesports. But a couple moments of individual brilliance did yield some rounds. I can't talk tonight. This is ridiculous.
No, talking is tricky. But yeah, it was the resurgency of Envy basically closing out with 5 rounds in the end it's basically their redeeming factor, right? It gives them just enough of a lifeline that they can actually come into the second half and be able to and do something with it. Any less, you've got to be feeling Mousesports could just close off the back of a pistol. And we know what they can do on their T side. It was said on the desk already, you know, what Nico can achieve on that T side is just diabolical. Almost James Harding. God damn it, no. Yeah, it's brilliant to watch, but it's something very unique to what he can achieve just by himself. So for Mousesports, if you want a quick game, you want to get that pistol, get it done and dusted. EnVyUs have got a little bit of fire burning. You know, they started to look a little bit more like a contender here. I mean,
essentially what EnVyUs have done those last few rounds of the first half was give themselves a lifeline. Even if they do, by some diabolical, as you put it, turn of events, lose the pistol, they don't sort of auto-lose the game. So that's something for you guys. I mean, obviously, many of you at home sort of understand that as well. We are just trying to nail the point home here, just how important that round is going to be. So more 3Ks from Nico is exactly what EnVyUs are not wanting to occur.
Yeah, you are spot on.
Some deep analysis there, Lauren.
Yeah, that was. Need to sit back for a sec.
Yeah. Just think about it. Just ponder that one.
Yeah, no, it's very deep. You know, kind of like Jaden Smith style sort of things.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't remember what it was.
Both Jaden Smith, Willow Smith, very talented individuals. Let's be honest.
True. I feel like Alex could be the next Jaden Smith.
The kind of guy that says people die when they are killed. That's that real deep stuff.
Oof. Deep. But yeah, I'm kind of curious why we're back at this point and why there's a player not here. Any updates?
Not as of yet.
Okay, so a player decided, who is it? Who's done it? Chris J.
Chris J.
Of course it is.
Our Flying Dutchman friend. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you know, we can talk a little bit about, I guess, about the first half, the CT-sided performance from Mousesports. But Lauren, really, like, there's not a heck of a lot to go through. The pistol was won by Mousesports convincingly, like we said. It was Nico sat in mid-window with a few kills to his name, and then it went to a 7-0, if I'm not mistaken, lead, or at least a 6-0 lead for Mousesports. EnVyUs managed to break back in, and to be fair, they weren't. I said reset. They weren't sort of fully reset. They actually had a bit of money build up in that round prior.
Just not much.
Yeah, enough to carry them through the next couple of rounds. So while they were reset on round loss bonus, they actually had money in the bank to still buy up a decent sort of force into the next round and sort of start to get a couple of rounds back. But yes, those last couple of rounds for EnVyUs were important. They were very far behind. It was like 10-3 at one point. So they have recovered. That is the main thing. And Chris J, I hope he's having fun right now. I hope he's really enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's having a good time. And that's the important thing.
Here in Cologne, so we may have discovered ein schönes Mädchen, maybe. Yeah. Ein schönes Döner.
I really want a kebab now.
Ein leckerer. Leckeres? I don't know. Lecker is tasty.
So, lecker is tasty.
Yeah.
But Christian has rejoined us. He has graced us with his presence, so that's very, very kind of him. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one. I know this sounds harsh, but I find it very underwhelming when there's obviously teams with the stand-in, and it's hard to get excited for. Obviously, those individual moments are still there, but it's like you always feel like it's a kind of empty game in a way. Obviously, still very important to EnVy to win, but...
Well, that's the problem, though. They go 5-5 after this one, and we talked about like what the event horizon is for teams to not be able to make playoffs, right? And the thing is, we have some teams that are playing all their games sort of now and getting them out of the way. You guys like NIP and FaZe, and then you know, guys like Na'Vi have only played 6 so far. But if you lose, I think it's, we did the calculation, 7 or 8 matches, you auto can't qualify for the playoffs. Notwithstanding any sort of weird behavior that happens in terms of teams losing games from the top position on the ladder. So teams like Flipside, bad news for you guys at home, are already essentially out. They sort of can't qualify. And even FaZe are actually teetering fairly close to that number. Who would have thought, though? I think they're what, like... 11-7 or something like that, you know. So not bad when you think about it. But again, if they have, you know, after last night, not really good. After Mouse sort of took them to task fairly comfortably. So that's the thing. That's why this ladder, the table itself, isn't really shaping up quite yet. It's very, very hard to say because that's just the way it works. Teams are playing when they can play because of, well, the very saturated nature of CS events right now. It's the way it is. We're going to be back into this one, Lauren. It's going to be the pistol round here. EnVyUs on the CT side.
All right, Envy, you've got to start with a pistol. Simple as that. This is the first step that you need to get yourself back anywhere near close to getting this game going favorably towards you. So Kenny's going to go for the utility as such, quote unquote, but basically just buying the kit. So you can be that player for them with the nade, totally fine. On the T side, though, it's Christian and Nico to set up the play here, pretty much. 2 smokes. So 1 smoke towards CT, I can imagine that is, and Nico could be doing one to...
It's a fake, yeah.
Is that the jungle smoke? Yeah. So we've got the 2 smokes on A, so it is all but a fake. But the problem being, there's actually 2 players here from Envy as well. You've got Happy and MBK, and MBK's a bit of a master at doing this. He's able to watch this. He's one of the first players to kind of master that jump peak almost, at the higher scenes. So if they stay here, oh, Happy's going hunting. I like this. So it'll get the info. He's going to get taken down, but they're going to see the bomb. So now MBK's going to stay where he is. He's got a player on short with him as well. So actually, this is not too bad for Envy. They just need to land the shots.
Yeah, that's right. NKJ, well, and Kenny S gets the nade on towards Dennis. So that's a little bit of presence shut down for Mousesports on both sides of the map. Chris J's got himself to A. He's very much nestled in there. But now it looks like, yep, Nico's going to be cut off at the pass. He actually gets taken on by Apex, and he manages to win out on that one. Now forced to back away. NKJ doesn't want to take the challenge here. And this is going to allow Spitty and Nico just to sort of meet up in mid and start to exert some control. Chris J as well, something you need to consider in this round. He was allowed onto A on purpose because EnVyUs did read into the fake situation. He snuck himself right up near jungle and connector. So he'll be able to hear, he'll be able to get information, he'll know there's 2 players coming, so he could challenge this one down. But cleverly enough, NKJ comes around, tries to check, but Kenny S will fall. It's a trade. It's a 2v2 now, and NKJ needs to make himself scarce until NBK is ready to come out from that T ramp or palace.
Yeah, NK just needs to hold an angle. This I'm not too keen on. He can't escape cleanly from it, and I'm pretty sure Nico's going to face. And there you go. So now you've given it up. It's down to MBK, and that bomb can't go anywhere else. So MBK, why are you making sound here? I'm pretty sure they've just heard him as well. My word. Timing could have been certainly on his side there. Not to be the case at all, though. Nico finds it very comfortably, and in the end, Mouse do get that first round on the board in the second half, which doesn't bode well for EnVyUs. And we know what can happen when Nico gets going on this one.
No, I mean, again, there's a case to be made for NBK just staying quiet and trying to play after plant. He obviously still had plenty of time. He's close to the site. He obviously has the entire detonation period of the bomb. But 5 HP kind of sucks there. You don't really give Mousesports a chance to set up. So, you know, again, we get to see a lot more than the players do there. Oh, dear. Okay. Kenny S just smashes Oscar backwards there into next Tuesday. In fact, Mousesports just, yeah, a little bit dazed from that one, maybe reeling slightly, but they are going to recover quickly enough to throw a smoke in towards mid. And that'll force Kenny S right around towards CT. So that means that mid control will go towards Mousesports. Now, they have 2 AKs in this round, Galila and a UMP, but again, another little peek there. Nicely done. It was Kenny S again over towards short. Takes Chris J down to 68. Low risk, high reward play from Kenny S thus far with his kills. He's managing to pull out. He's staying safe. But this wrap from Connected could be nasty as well. They're going to shut Kenny S out. I don't know if he's going to push for this or not now, but Mousesports definitely are. They're on towards the side. Kenny S had no choice but to challenge through that smoke, and he is read into. They do shut him down. NBK going to be coming in from CT, and NKJ from T ramp here. They can pinch it, but it needs to be quick, and it's just too slow. NKJ almost tries to shoot his teammate there. Freaks out a bit. Happy. He won't be pleased with that one at all, but still, 11 health on NKJ to work onto this in a 2v4.
Yeah, this is really grim stuff. They're going to know there's at least one here. You probably won't expect 2. But still, not a fun retake at this point. No kit, no fun, no chance. Have a little lay down, NKJ. Just chill
Take
it
5,
out.
mate.
Your leg looks a bit funny there, not gonna lie. I don't think they normally bend that way. Maybe ankle a bit twisted round. Don't know. Hope you're okay. But yeah, Happy's going to save this. So, you know, he's got armor, upgraded pistol, and this is pretty much all you can achieve. If you can get maybe an extra kill in mid, that'd be great, but no one's going to play to it. He actually recovers the UMP, so not bad for what he started with, considering.
How proactive did we see Happy be on his entry attempts in that first half? Remember Sponge talked about at the start of the game? I mean, a bit late now, but I mean, he definitely lagged right behind NKJ in that little engagement there, which is kind of reasonable given NKJ was a low health player, and you do want to set up a trade in that case, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know.
Happy buys a UMP, though.
He picked up from the last round. Yeah.
That's right.
Come on, Mitch.
Yeah, no, a little bit slow. Getting late.
It's getting late. We've had pauses, stand-ins, and we're currently watching some weird CS, but it's working. You know, we've got the mid split coming in. It's probably going to be an A hit. Whoever's over at B going to kind of come in through underpass, that being Nico, probably going to come in through underpass and help them out unless they get to pick elsewhere and work off the back of that instead. Just end up on A. You've got 3 players at ramp, but that bomb actually not going to be committing here at all. That's going to make a bit of a play towards mid. So again, bit of a ruse, bit of a fake play, and Dennis not with the perfect spray there at all.
Oh, NKJ takes him down there pretty comfortably with a pistol. However, Kenny S is still traded out as a result of that Molotov, which is definitely good news for Mousesports, and now EnVyUs have realized that something is afoot over at the B side. Happy needs to hold with his UMP scavenge, and there'll be no dice on that one for him. NKJ limited on approach options here, it's safe to say that. And even Oscar wrapping back around to catch out NBK, and this leaves Apex with an AK he's picked up, no armor, and in a rather compromising position as well. This is not really a part of the map you want to be trying to save a weapon from, but Mousesports won't probably step into mid-window until Spitty's content that there's no one waiting there for a quick kill, so this is okay. Chris J will probably look to try and challenge out here, though. Still, does have a Galil, not quite what he would have liked. Drops down, Apex. Well, we can guarantee, at least, we can trust that man to pick up fights like that one, but then he will be caught out and taken down. So, yeah, another attempt now for EnVyUs to salvage another gun. Goes by the wayside, but they do buy straight up here with the AWP.
But hey, here's that discussion of are pistol rounds quote-unquote random, right? This is now where EnVyUs have to change it. They have to kind of say, all right, well, those 3 rounds, they won the pistol. We can't do much about it. Cool. All right, starting to the buy round. This is where we need to stop it. There's no room for mistakes, which is the problem. And the CT side economy is so punishing. If you mess up once, you're kind of done for here. We'll find out if that's going to be the case here. Is already Kenny. Got to be careful in mid. There's a, excuse me, a little bit of a worrying sign up ahead, being 2 players making the cross, and they hit him with the smoke, so they know what's going on. He needs to back away from that. And really, Mousesports just posturing towards a really nice mid-take. And, well, Chris J already gets that one going very well.
Yeah, I mean, more aggressive way to take mid-control, but Chris J now able to just abscond through underpass and, you know, continue to erect some infrastructure over at the B side, allow Mousesports some safer passage. The bomb, though, dropped back in towards top mid, and with NBK challenging out Chris J, that makes things a little bit less certain for Dennis, and there it is. EnVyUs starting now to exert their pressure a bit more. 2 players in mid for Mousesports, and you can see where Spitty is set up here. Probably would have been hoping to find Kenny S, hoping he came back through the little opening, but he hasn't done that. He's made a very characteristic rotation through towards CT.
Characteristic.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, you're going to do that in this case, but we saw Kenny S even do it on pistol rounds, opting not to challenge out mid sort of for the second time, so either way, he sets up there. It's not really going to matter at this stage, I think. Spitty is just the bomb's dropped in towards connector, so he's got no options really. And he can try and spray down Happy.
Costly.
He can try and tilt Happy. That's always a good plan, I think.
Well, the main thing in my eyes is the fact that really Envy can't fall back on money at any single point. They've got so many rounds against them, so for them, any sort of gun loss is quite important. So keep the economy low. A bit of a you would be an overcommitment to start chasing beyond that. I'd feel, but at the end of the day, looking at Mouse, their money's a bit here, there, and everywhere. It's not stable. They can spread the wealth, but I can imagine there might be a Tech 9 or 2. Could they have enough?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a good point. I mean,
Dennis has a Glock.
Negatory.
There we go. Okay. So I was about to say, please don't just sit on a Glock. You can buy a Tech 9. So there was always going to be one Tech 9 out of that. And I like what they're doing coming into this, just going for that A hit.
Probably worth thinking about here as well is that EnVyUs don't have any rounds they can save on. So, like, if they're sort of in a 2v4, 2v3 after plant situation, they no longer have the chance to sort of save weapons. So that's a really good point you brought up, that Mousesports are trying to inflict damage on the economy here because they know that EnVyUs don't really have, the options available to them. Oh, that's Oscar on towards Apex there, opening things up at the A side. Now, this has to force players drawn across here from EnVyUs because he was the only player there. They had a few players set up for a mid-take, but Mousesports changed tact, a little bit of a different approach this round and worked through A. But just a tickle. Enough, though, that Nico's been spotted out in towards Palace and has picked up.
Spitty can change us. For Mousesports, just hold the ground. You don't lose out on players like this. What on earth, guys? Mousesports fall by the wayside. Spitty could have done so much there. Maybe a little late coming into this, but he'd had the... Nice shot. Okay. All right.
You have my attention.
I was a little worried. And now Happy in the 1v1. We know who plays it better, and we found out why. Happy, cool, calm, under pressure, doesn't feel it. He's used to being last alive. He's never going to be worried in those situations. The point being that Mousesports...
I won the round. I shoot you if you complain.
Yeah, the AWP is mine.
Rating matters.
You will have to glass cannon rather than me dropping this out to you. That was literally that look of, I am the alpha here. Just throw claims it, forces Kenny S onto the glass cannon.
I love it.
Oh, God.
I mean, well, that's pure conjecture. Let's just make that clear, right? But, I mean, a funny little exchange nonetheless here. Kenny S, though, says, we'll stuff you. I'm going to go glass cannon. I'm going to get a kill. What now? Even MBK will be able to move up here on towards shore and assist. Ugh. That is what happens when you don't have armor and helmet, but that's the way it goes. It's also a deagle, so not really much saving you there. Nade in towards the top of mid there. NBK able to use it to flush Spitty out and follow up there with that kill. And Oscar now, just a bit of a do-si-do, bit of back and forth, again, a foregone conclusion, essentially. And NKJ salvages that AWP.
So, Envy lived to fight another day. And this is step by step. This is one of those things that's step by step, and any break in the chain means it's almost over. Musks get to 14, let's say Envy's money gets reset, because they haven't built up too much yet. Only Happy really having a lot to work with here. Sitting on 7k, of course. It's not like he could have dropped that up and bought for himself to Kenny S. He wouldn't do that. Point being, yeah, Envy is starting to build up bank, but they don't have enough to be able to depend on yet. So again, Mousesports, if they break it once, they're in a good position, of course. However, yet to do that just as of late. We've got 3 players from Envy kind of playing mid. You've got one in ladder room, being NBK there. Kind of leaving short a little open, but he can kind of call over towards, his teammate Happy if required. But it's Chris J flashed up, can't get it done, but Dennis there, perfectly positioned, waiting, and there's the pinch. There's that uncomfortable play. You look at one, you get traded on, you get pressured from the other side. That is the beauty of getting Palace control. Kenny is now blinded, gets swept aside by Dennis, and Mousesports do a lovely 8-hit.
And NBK now just wants to challenge Connector. He's just not going to have any chance. Spitty will be waiting from there with the Galil. Happy with the AWP. It's my AWP. Back off. He says, we're going to have to do something about it. Like I said, EnVyUs, how many opportunities do they have to save in rounds like these? Not really many. And he's into the smoke here. Chris J's actually gone back behind him, so this could be a good shot. Still, though, interestingly enough, Oscar's still tapping there through the smoke. So still had a feeling that Happy would be close by. And there it is. EnVyUs, I can't really afford to try and save on rounds like that one. They lack the buffer now, and Mousesports get one more closer to victory. Keep buying into this one. Obviously, EnVyUs have built up enough money, I guess, to keep going on with. But like you said, attack the economy of EnVyUs and put them in a position like this. This reminds me of mid-2015 EnVyUs, and it's not really by their own decision. They've got no choice.
I hate seeing Happy stick on an AWP and not drop it out to Kenny at this point. I know it sounds weird, and maybe I'm misreading it, and maybe they're comfortable this way. Yeah. You just got to feel if it's a primary AWP, you got to give them a chance with it.
You can't say it's played off spawns here, not in this case where Happy's on short.
I don't know. Happy's a very diligent AWPer. He's a great secondary AWPer, but would you ever pick him above Kenny S? But point aside, getting into this round, Mousesports are on a good buy, and well, as you said, Envy are not. Their money was never completely robust, so they've got to be quite careful on these. And Envy need to keep a clean round.
So the M4s of MBK and Apex are split between the two sites here. Pistols of KennyS and NKJ are mostly concentrated towards the middle of the map. You know, just give them those close quarters situations where you can shine sometimes with the 5-7 when it counts. Double peek eventually comes in there, almost a little bit too late there. KennyS manages to jet the drop on Spitty though, eventually secures the trade for EnVyUs. Nico though brings one back. Now going to make that into a 3v3. Oscar and Dennis have the bomb towards B, and MBK obviously ready to receive this one, but so many things could go wrong for the natural born killer. Just need to steel himself here and receive this one appropriately. He's the only man at B right now. That's a pretty good response, I feel. Bomb goes loose, information gained, a kill as well for MBK. He backs away, but Oscar takes him down. Now things get a little bit more stressful. Happy's had to make his way over towards the site, but wait. No MV players over at A here. Oscar drops the bomb. It goes off over the ledge through the window on towards the B side here. He could have backed out and maybe, but Happy had already encroached so closely that any attempt to turn your back and run away would have been foiled. There wasn't even the time left. So now it's up to Nico to do the heavy lifting, but Happy will be waiting for him.
Happy's got such a great position here. It has to be a full commitment for Nico. He has to hunt the frag out, but...
The bomb's inside a pump
exactly.
still.
He
Okay,
has to
the
jump up
minimap's
to it.
wrong.
This is it. This is as simple as it is. He's got to run for this one. Time has run out. 1 second left. He can't even spot out Happy at the end of it. He does at least get an ult for himself, but Happy playing smart there as well.
Yeah, but weird economic situation here. EnVyUs, even despite winning that round, don't actually have much money.
Take the M4, Kenny.
To be fair, you know, a lot of people are a bit funny about
Kenny's
Happy.
got 22 frags. I have 12.
Yeah, I know. See, a lot of people are funny about Happy. I had one of my most favourite interviews of all time with him in Katowice. You know, people would say he's a really reserved guy and sometimes maybe doesn't always want to give too much information up. But I had a really good chat with him before the interview, and he opened up really quite a lot. And you know, just to see, you know, he's maybe reserved. I think he's a bit misunderstood a lot of the time as well. Oscar though,
Oscar.
Understand that one. It's going to be Apex that goes down as he goes through the smoke, and now NBK set up over on short, having to back away. But God, what a way to take the wind out of the sails. Oscar now is just going to make his presence more strongly felt. And Dennis, oh God, it's all going south now for EnVyUs.
Welcome to the Oscar Show, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats and prepare for what we have in store. It's all down to Happy in a 1v3, and this will be map point coming through almost. We're on to 15-9 now. Oscar to close it down with his third. And what a sick bit of play from him. You know what? The first shot is just filth. This, like, you shouldn't win this. You should not be able to do this. Apex, what happened, for starters? What happened? And then he was able to follow it up as well. You know, so I was like, guys, just push him, right? We're losing mid, regain control elsewhere. No. You can't just do that. But anyway, back in this one, it's 15-9. Mousesports on the verge of picking up this map here. Not too surprising, but in some style so far.
Oh, and EnVyUs with just not enough money as well. That sucks. And they got to force into this one. They force every round up sort of past this one. Not good. And so hard to re-establish any sort of chance of bringing things back here. A measly 9 rounds for the Frenchman is definitely not enough at this stage. Well, I mean, NKJ coming in, not quite. But there's Spitty. Finds Apex to start things off. He obviously wants to go for something aggressive in towards Palace. He obviously wants to try and catch people off guard. But Spitty's sitting so far back. Mouse know exactly what they're walking into here. And they are just paving their way with very deliberate steps towards this A side. They're going to have Dennis pinching in a second here from Connector, and that means that KennyS is going to be endangered species. NKJ at least can communicate that, but not much else can be done, really.
All right, KennyS, yeah, overwhelmed in the end. 4v1, Happy last alive. We're all surprised, shocked, and in horror. And there it goes. Chris Jacobs managed to close this out for Mousesports, and to be fair, I don't think we're too surprised at how that went. Sadly, overall, we'd have loved to seen the full EnVy roster playing that one. It wasn't to be the case. And I think that was a big flaw in what we saw. We didn't see EnVy at full power. And even though Mousesports recently have been on fine form, I think it could have been a far more competitive game. I mean, if you told me that we'd be seeing this Mousesports maybe early 2015 or something like that, I would have been, well, very interested to see how exactly that was going to come about. But this is an impressive turn for this team. Definitely. I mean, Nico, he spent so long, I guess, putting a lot of pressure on himself and struggling. And now these online results are big. So great stuff there from Mousesports as well. And, you know, a good 2-0. That's really going to boost them nicely. 9-5, they go win the standings. That is a contender for the top of the table. But there's still more to be written in the story of Mousesports and, of course, of EnVyUs. But now let's throw it over the desk and break our last game of the night right on down.
We'll do just that. Thank you very much, Pansy and Uber. Now, I've got myself, Sadakist and Sponge hanging out. That's right. I'm dropping one sponge. One sponge every show.
Sponge.
No,
Sponge. It's the Australian version of Chris J.
No, but
both of them are pretty average CS players. Probably both should retire. But hey, at least Chris J is winning some games. So
and he's doing a spectacular job at it. Okay, so another 16-9 this time versus
Welcome
EnVy.
to the analyst world, by the way.
Yeah, we have fun here.
We do occasionally. We're going on a little holiday to Romania. It's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Little happy family.
The bad boys from Bucharest.
Oh, that's a nice close-up.
I love when they do this.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing value to the desk. CS Analytics 101, guys. We're doing a good job.
So, I mean, I do feel like our analysis is rather hamstrung here because we sit there and we can credit Mousesports all we want, but it's never going to be as fun to analyze a game which was a team operating without the full five, right? So, I mean, what can we take away from this genuinely, Chad?
It looked like it was going to be just an absolute fisting, and then old mates at Envy.
He tried.
Old mates at Envy.
They managed to claw back a couple of rounds, and you know the scoreline wasn't fantastic, but it didn't look as bad as what it could have been. You know, like you said, you're operating a man down. What can you really expect from the coach? We know that NK, you know, he's played at a decent level, but it's different language. You know, French and German, they're not even close.
Not really. And of course, you know, the real problem is that we saw the absence of Devil. I think he played. Did he even play a round?
I think one round.
He played a round of Dust 2. He did.
A lot of people would say the absence of Devil could be a good thing. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately.
You're not. Well, no,
I think, so oddly enough, on that topic, just to chime in while I can, I talked to him about Starladder because they put Devil back in the role that he's more familiar with. Remember, he was a lurker on LDLC.
Exactly, yeah.
And I thought he played really well, and I thought the kills were better. And I know Apex was like, yeah, you know, he had a lot more frags. But then talking to Happy said, well, when we actually had a briefing and we looked into, you know, impact and not just the kills, they thought he was actually worse in that role. They thought he was better as more of the support role, and it was better to the team overall.
Of course, Happy would think that.
I knew you were going to say that, and I almost thought the same thing when I was talking to him, but I'd be interested to actually look at it from his mindset and just see what actually does work out. Because I think Devil on LDLC, him and Body were clearly the two best players.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was reason for it. I mean, I actually saw a great post, I think it was on Reddit, of basically looking at the ratings of LDLC around the time that Envy were in the market for a French player, and it was definitely a toss-up between the two, and Devil was having great games against the T2, T3 teams.
The problem with that, though, is Devil was only doing that for about 2.5 months, whereas Body was doing it for about 8 months.
Yeah.
So G2 got the better pick by that one, I still say.
But there is, of course, you already said that there has been a bit of growth and development, and it does take time to settle in. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
There's too many Devil puns. Can we drop this? There was Mitch did one, you didn't do one.
The bullet went through. I'm sorry, no more. I did Dance with the Devil as well. So much fun. We're having a great time here at ESL Pro League, but it is once again done
great
and
time,
dusted.
guys.
He was just telling us how much of a whale of a time he's been having, but this is what we did get to enjoy here in Matchday 15. That's right, you have had 4 weeks of ESL Pro League action here as teams try and get closer and closer to that rather scary $750,000. 16-14 for NIP over on Dust 2 before we saw them as boys from Astralis bite back over on Overpass. And following that one, we did get to see Mousesports continue to make a completely perfect run so far. 4-0 across 2 days of ESL Pro League, 16-9 and 16-9 mirror for them this time versus Envy. But you know what's notable off stream is it looks like Dignitas have had a spectacular day. They've gone and pulled up for themselves, picking up wins over Fnatic and Penta. Now, I don't know whether we'd have sat there on the predictions and said Dignitas were going to go 4-0 in those matches at all. Matt, I mean, this is a team that have looked. Now look at that score, 9-5. We've been suggesting that they were a bit underperforming.
And even Mousesports, 8-5 after this. This is the thing. The season's been so back. Now the one you got to look at in that is 6th place Navi. They're eventually going to climb up to the top of it, but it's a battle from, I'd say, them down, basically, that the bottom 3 spots are still available, and it's really just a war of attrition. And it comes to Dignitas, considering they're 9-5 right now, the point you just made, that they didn't play with Rubino. He took a break, and they got 16-3 the first game they went to LAN when they were back with their core 5, and yet they still made the semifinals of that, or semifinals. I was going to say quarterfinals. They did beat Heroic. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But either way, like, they're playing excellent CS, and honestly, right now, I don't think the best teams are the ones winning. It's the consistent teams, because we're seeing these massive drops in performance from some of the guys we'd expect to be
better. And it's probably actually playing well into Navi's hands. The fact that they aren't playing much at the moment does mean that, you know, they'll let everyone else do their own thing, and then they'll just rock up and get a couple of extra wins in the board and be right back there in that top spot. 6-0 for them. We'll be seeing more from the CIS beasts later on in the Pro League. But for now, let's have a little look over the pond. North America, let's see what's going to be going down today. Yeah, and I have a lot of special treats coming up for you on the talent lineup, I believe, as well, for the North American side. But you got CLG Immortals over on the mainstream. Alongside that, you get this Renegades squad.
Con Renegades.
Did you just put NA and talent in the same sentence?
Not in terms of playing. I'm talking about this. There's some nice faces on the stream. You better check them out.
There's more foreign players there in all those teams than there is North Americans. So whatever you want to call the region.
It's
anyway.
The world. It's Europe versus the world.
It is, and that should the ESL change it to not North American
would you
Pro
call
League,
it?
the rest.
The rest. The rest.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, sweet. Well, you can see there's going to be some hot matches as well coming up tomorrow. You get yourself Matchday 15 kicks off with a big one. We talked about getting to see more of Navi, and you will. It'll be NIP. They'll be taking them on across 2 maps, Overpass being the second, Dust the first. And talking of Dust, you get it as well with Hellraisers and Astralis. It'll be intriguing to see if the absence of their previous coach LMBT is going to affect them, as well as, of course, Oscar. These guys have been gutted from the inside out. Poor Hellraisers. I was about to try and start listing off players, but I mean, I started kind of struggling after Zero and Sticko, my 2 faves.
Yeah.
Angel.
That's the one.
Kutcher, no, gone. Botnick's there now.
They had a guy called Smike,
Simple,
but I think
gone,
that guy's
Smike.
gone. I think
No,
they're
Smike's
replacing
there.
that.
Are they replacing him?
Maybe I was just reading a Hedge Activity thread with that.
I know they had
should replace
Doja
Smike.
at one point in time, but he might be gone.
This is what I'm saying. And I mean, they have been gutted relentlessly.
Revolving door.
Revolving door. Oh,
Hooch
damn.
stood in for them at one point in time.
He did, but not anymore. But that is,
Flamey?
of course... Yes, he's been gone as well. Can I...
Do you have any more?
No, go ahead.
Should we continue?
Is it okay if I say goodbye now? Do you want to say anything? Any closing thoughts is what I'll ask you, Matt. Any closing thoughts?
No.
No, thank you. Okay, cool. So he's done. How about you, Chad? Anything?
I'm happy to wrap it up.
That's really, I appreciate that. All right, we've had a spectacular evening of Counter-Strike. It has been wonderful to be a part of. And if you want to go ahead and recap exactly what you have enjoyed and what you have to look forward to as well, all your schedules and your stats, as well as your results, are available on the Score Esports app on your smartphone, of course, iOS and Google Play. So while you are going and grabbing that, we will evaporate and we'll be coming with more CS in the next time for the ESL Pro League. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.